Welcome to another edition of Let's Talk. Today, it's my honor and privilege to have with us Dr. Cecil Boston.
Hi, hello viewers, and thank you, Andrew, for having me on your show. And I'm hoping that my experiences and the thoughts that I have to share would be great for your viewership.
Beautiful. Thank you, Doctor. Can you tell me a bit about yourself and what your experience was like at Mackenzie High School, please?
Oh, well, about myself, I am a clinical chemist by profession, and I currently teach at the University of Guyana in clinical chemistry / biochemistry. In relation to my experiences at Mackenzie High School, I started off in Form 1 Emerald, which took me all the way up to third form. And then I went into the science stream, which played a pivotal role in me furthering my adult life in terms of professional life in the science area. However, there was a short stint between fifth form and sixth form where I wanted to be a lawyer. So I did law in sixth form, and I decided that, that was a bit too much reading. So I diverted back to science.
Excellent. Good story. Can you tell us a little bit about how Mackenzie High School has prepared you for the real life of work? I think you mentioned your clinical
chemist.
Yeah, clinical chemist. Can you tell us a little bit about that, please? And how Mackenzie High School has prepared you for that role that you're currently serving in?
Okay. Mackenzie High School, Mackenzie High School prepared me in terms of in the areas of discipline and responsibility. Discipline in the sense that my teachers and my parent, as I grew up in a single parent home, my mom, their expectations of me was nothing less than excellence and the best. So in whatever I did or whatever I do, even now in my adult life, it has to require 100% of my effort. And Mackenzie High School played a role in nurturing that sort of, thing in me where that I was responsible in terms of assignments had to be submitted on time. I had to be at school on time and that sort of thing. So I have taken that from my school years and have brought it into my adult life, and it has helped me professionally, because I mean in for example meetings, I'm a person that if you tell me a meeting starts at X time, I'm going to be there at X time, and I get very annoyed when persons are late. So that kind of ethic and that kind of work ethic would have been developed from my years at Mackenzie High School, and it would have been nurtured by even some of the teachers that I would have encountered at Mackenzie High School.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing with us. Can you tell us, for any little young student that's watching this interview, that's dreaming of becoming a doctor, what would your advice be to that young student?
My advice to as any student at Mackenzie High School, discipline goes a long way, and it depends on how the outlook that you have on life and what you want to see for yourself. And nothing comes easy. You have to put in the work, right? And you have to be dedicated to whatever it is that you'd like to achieve in life, and so forth. So, and because I think that everything that happens in a person's life prepare them for where they're supposed to be, prepare them for where they're heading. And I think that if a young person can develop that concept of being disciplined, being responsible, then I think those are some of the cornerstones of becoming a productive adult.
Beautiful. Nicely said. Thank you, first of all, for joining the alumni group, the Mackenzie High School North American chapter. What do you think we can do as a group to give back to current students at Mackenzie High School?
Well, looking at it in the sense that I think that we have a lot of students with great potential that are attending McKenzie School, and some of them may not have the resources to encourage their further advancement and so forth. And just taking myself into just looking back at my younger self, that I'm one of those persons that I did not grow up in a privileged home, as some may, quote unquote say. There were struggles. There were times when you didn't had enough. There were times that you had to go without. But at the end of the day, you understand the concept that these are experiences that wouldn't last for, they wouldn't last. But the impact that having a quality education will have, it's you can't argue with that. So in terms of the Alumni Association, how I see them functioning in terms of in relation to the students at McKenzie is support those students who are less fortunate, those students who don't have the resources, who don't have access. Because one of my biggest goals, or one of my, even in my professional life, in my adult life, is looking largely on student success. How do we prepare students for success? And what are the tools we give students in order to ensure that they succeed in life?
Well said. Excellent. I got a question for you just off the bat. What are some of the challenges you're noticing as an educator with students in university? And the reason why I'm asking you this is because I started university up here in China, where I currently live, and I stopped. And one of the reasons why I stopped is because I figure, I'm halfway through my career, and I know education is it's a continuous learning process, and that's the reason why I went back and I was trying to. From your lens, what are some of the challenges you see preventing, I'll say, if I may, black males from staying in school?
Okay. Now, some of the challenges that I would have recognized, that one, for example, at the university level, we have students all on the same level, but all of these students are coming from different backgrounds, with different challenges, different level of preparedness for university life. But at the same time, we're expecting the same results from those students. We're expecting all those students to excel.
Right.
But at the same time, we're not recognizing that these students may come to the university from different levels, right? For example, one of the things that I think we don't pay attention to is that they're different people learn different. But yet we would have some persons believe in, okay, we can do a PowerPoint, or we will just, we will sit and we talk, we write on the board and that kind of thing. And that might not work for all students.
Right.
Right? So you find that some students may lag behind, while you have others that if you put them in a practical setting, those students would outperform those students who are more theoretically based or theoretically inclined. So you see, we have to have that appreciation for the different learning type and how people learn, in order to so that persons can realize their true potential or the best potential.
Right. Good interview. Good questions. I feel a little bit uncomfortable because this is the first time I've actually interviewed a doctor, and I want to take full advantage of it. I'll ask you the last question. What would your advice be to someone that's thinking about going to university but having doubts? What would your advice to that individual be?
I would tell people this, that you don't have to go to university. And I say that to say this, in that, yes, university would be a place that your parents and persons expect you to go to. But at the same time, people need to understand that there are other skills that you can develop outside of university. For example, trade skills, and we're seeing more and more how those skills are becoming important and valuable in this area. So I would tell a person, evaluate, look at what you want to become. And if you were thinking to yourself, you know what, I want to become a lawyer, I want to become an environmentalist, or I want to become, you know, a biologist of some sort, then yes, go to university. But at the same time, you if you want to become a tradesman, a welder, a carpenter, that kind of thing, develop your trade. Perfect your trade, because the thing is, what I try to tell people is that once you're good at what you do, people are gonna call you. People are gonna want you. Right? It doesn't matter what profession you do or what area of life you choose. Once you're good at whatever it is that you do, you're gonna be needed. So I try to tell people that evaluate your life. Think about what is it you want for yourself, what is it you want to do in life, and then you move on from there. Right? University is not attending university is not the gold standard of a good life.
I think we'll leave it at there. Becoming a subject matter expert in your area and your field of comfort and in the area of whatever you enjoy, and I think is the takeaway. Dr. Boston, on behalf of the Alumni Association, Mackenzie High School Alumni Association North American Chapter, I want to take this opportunity to thank you very much for taking some time out and sharing with us this evening. Thank you very much. God bless you, and we'll be in touch.
Yes, it's great. Thank you for me.
Okay.